you can do. So what I'm going to be expressing a little bit about my excitement in terms of this revolutionary type of product. Like Sam says, there's a big shift going on in terms of population and demographics. This 80 million group of what are called baby boomers are shifting into their golden years like that, and that has some excitement. One is that they're the largest group, they have the most disposable income. Second thing is, if they do like previous generations, it can bankrupt this country, if not the world. Because if you continue to be sick and the high cost of medical intervention, that's going to have an impact financially. Plus, it's not a very rosy picture in terms of what you can be looking for. I tell my patients, if the doctor or health provider tells you that, Sam, yeah, just live with your problems because you're getting old. You need to not walk, but you need to run out as fast as you can. That'd be like you going into a car mechanic and saying, Sam, you need a new car. You need a 2012. This is a 2008. That's way too old. You look at that mechanic and just think, what's with that? So that's what we have today to express to you this particular type of compound that's able to do this. Compliments of Cindy. Thank you very much. Revolution, and that's what we'll talk about. This is something that's breaking all boundaries in terms of not only in terms of nutritional products, but actually in pharmaceutical and genetic engineering, which we'll talk about briefly here. A revolution in the battle against aging. So now we actually have a tool, a substance, this little yellow pill right here. That's it. One a day, as we'll talk about. Doesn't get any easier than this to be able to actually do that. And as Sam very, very, very accurately says, we got the science to prove it. Just like we were talking about the other night, Gary and Sam used to be boxers. Well, they can boast. Sam said, hey, Gary, I can beat you up. And Gary said, no, I'll take you down in 2. They get into their arena and into the ring there, and we'll find out what's true. That's what science does. You can make all kinds of hypotheticals, and that's what they start with, a hypothesis. You have an assumption, and then they see if the science really warrants what's going on like that. So another little article I gave out to my is a fight against the aging process. That's what we have here. We have something just like these two fighters here, something to actually fight against this. And it's a natural product, a process. From Dr. McCord talks about from 0 to 20 age, that's what's called growing. From 20 to 100 until you die, that's aging process or death. And so you have different options to do. You can make changes to slow that process down. You can actually reverse the process of aging. Now, we can't change what's called chronological aging. Sam here, he's only 29 years old, so we can't take away from when he was born to where he is today. But biologically, does he have the body of a 29-year-old, an 18-year-old, or a 150-year-old? We have the means of actually testing that. And one of those ways is these T-bars, as you saw in that. That's what Sam was saying, was able to decrease within 2 weeks, and in 30 days, everybody, I didn't say 75%, I didn't say 90%, everybody came down. And the older you are, the more type of aging process, the better you had. You range from 40 to 70% reduction. So you can't lose. If you're young, good. You maintain that youthfulness. If you're 60, 70, brings it down to that age like that. And so that's kind of exciting to be able to, once again, have these tools to do that. Now, as we'll talk a little bit later on, I go through the literature. One of the compounds, as you heard, is catalase. So only 4 things scientifically, once again, not my opinion, not my thoughts, I wish I could, it's been shown to, once again, increase longevity, how long you're going to kind of live. Caloric restriction, of course, what you eat and what kind of food you do. Resveratrol, another type of natural product from like grapes and things, people might have heard from that. Catalase, which was discussed there, and glutathione, which we'll discuss like that. Here's a little boasting. There's a product out on the market that's boasting you can slow down, stop, or even reverse graying of the hair. And that's what it states here. It says, go away gray is a natural alternative to hair dyes and other harmful chemicals. We can talk about the toxicity of that. The main ingredient is catalase. Okay, that wouldn't be nice. Look younger, be younger. So that's what's out there. That's what people are excited about. This product does that. We'll go through that. Hundreds of different things. You don't have to take 100 pills to do what this one little pill does. That's what's so exciting. How about this one? Glutathione, which we'll talk about. Skin whitening. Does it really whiten skin? Absolutely. This product, once again, increases glutathione. Well, there's one study that showed that catalase, this compound increases catalase by not 1%, not 20%, not 50%, Not 100%, 1,200%, 1,200%. How about glutathione? How much does that increase? Everybody?
300.
Exactly. So who wouldn't want to put $1 into your investment and get $300 every time you got in terms of your investment? Like 300%. This is getting so hot. Here's a well-known medical doctor here, Dr. Gott, kind of an old-fashioned. He's the most read in terms of newspapers medical doctor in the country. And what does it say? Dr. Gott and talks about master antioxidant, which is glutathione. And he states that he thinks it's great. He states that what research shows, Lou Gehrig's disease.
ALS.
ALS, that's right. Is that like having a little blemish here? Is that like having a little owie in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
No. A neurodegenerative disease that's very destructive, very terrible. If you have cancer, cystic fibrosis, this is what he's saying. This is what the science says. Asthma and a number of other ones. Now the point is that, which he didn't know, and I actually emailed him and gave him the science, there's little documentation to support the theory it actually increases levels within cells if you just take glutathione. So even a very well-researched and well person doesn't know all the facts. And so as Sam will talk about the timing, most doctors don't know about most of this. Definitely lay people don't know about that. So this is an exciting opportunity to be kind of getting in to have something that does so much work, to be able to help people get well. So I've been in practice and I've been in natural. I've worked in health food stores and started co-ops and collectives. And as Sam said, which is nice, I am pretty well known. I've taught at Stanford, at UCSF. I've started at an alternative or integrated medicine program at UC Davis Medical School. So I'm sort of the go-to kind of guy in my field like that because, I know the science. And so when you go to see a medical doctor, they don't want to talk about, Sam, hey, I'm feeling really better. My grandmother, my dog's feeling really better. That's nice. Okay, next. We want the science. Where's the science? Cite me the citations, like that. And so that's it. So you have to kind of think about where did this product come from? And the story goes is that two gentlemen approached Dr. McCord. And the reason why they approached Dr. McCord is, like Sam said, he's a superstar. He's an MVP player. He's a gold medalist in terms of the Olympics. Because as he said back in the late 60s, he and a senior professor at Duke University found a whole new type of understanding about aging process and disease. It's called free radical biology. Before that time, it didn't exist. So just like the Wright brothers, there was no flying before that happened. Before transistors, the modern technology that we see today in terms of microchip would not exist. So that's why this is revolutionary. This is kind of goes beyond just the basic type, day-to-day type of things like that. So he's the captain of the ship. He's the top guy. He's the head honcho. He's the man that we basically look to because he's got that reputation. Not just in terms of Napa and Solano County, the world. Anybody that's ever gone, regardless if you're taking biochemistry in Japan, South Africa, North America, Asia, whatever it is like that, everybody, once again, starts to basically understand free radical because it's the fundamental foundation of disease and health. And so his name is that. In fact, he's so famous, SOD that he discovered is actually measured in his name. Just like I don't hear that I'm going to go over to the gas station and put in 25 cents or my car gets 30 miles to a gallon. It's not like 30 miles per Dr. Noa, it's not like something like that. Here's actually a measurement after his name like that. So that's how big he is. And as we'll talk about it, that's why this product has such great acceptance in terms of the rest of the world, and especially even in the drug world, because of his reputation. The second thing is the science. And the science, hopefully we're a science. I mean, hopefully people don't think that the earth is flat and there's an Easter bunny and Santa Claus like that. They're nice little stories, but we want to deal with facts here. And so the science is that this product, this one right here, this little yellow pill, has unbelievable science, more so than a lot of drugs. And so as we'll talk about, that's exciting to me. Once again, just like with Sam and Gary, they can boast who's the best, but end of 3 rounds, we're going to find out who's the best. And that's what this has done. This has done the science, and it continues to do science. And as I was telling the other night, I talked to my colleague, the reason why this is so revolutionary, and it's like there's no competition, these studies cost millions of dollars. There's 20 other scientific studies. No company out there, I don't care what was, we'll talk about in business, have like, hundreds of millions of dollars to just put into research. See, that's how much but because, as we'll talk about, this is so powerful, we don't have to, when I say we, the company doesn't have to pay to do this research. The scientists see the value of this and say, hey, all we want to do is use your product. You don't have to pay us. And that's the second thing, or the second thing we'll talk about, the science. And we talk about there's 3 different types of levels like that: Pee-wee football, high school, college, and professional sports. Science is the same way. So Pee-wee football is we all get together. Gail, who's in here, host, we go into her kitchen, we throw some herbs together, we put it in a capsule. I come back and put it into my 2 practices here in Napa. I do a little study, try to publish it, and boom. So that's good. But people will say, okay, well, Dr. Noa, I know you're from New Jersey, so maybe you're not always up and up. So so that's what we're doing, because it's too much in-house. So okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I did live in New Jersey, but now I'm out in California, so give me a second chance here. So then what we do is a second tier, or second party, is that I live in Davis, and so I go to one of my neighbors who's actually the dean of chemistry, and I say, Bill, hey, do you want to do a study for us? Here's $100,000, and we're going to do some oxidative stress. We're going to do T-bars again, maybe before that happened, and we're going to see what kind of changes. Publishes it, and it's great. But they're saying, hey, Bill's a nice guy, but we know grants are tough, and money talks, and you're still from New Jersey, so we don't know what's going on like that, because he might think, well, if I get a good results, and this bears out because drug companies actually been busted almost every year doing the same thing. They'll go to a high institution, pay different types of professors to lecture and stuff like that, and all they are basically salespeople. And they find out the studies weren't correct, they cheat a little bit, so that's it. So everybody wants the third tier, third party. Third party is saying, Dr. Noa and your gang there, we don't want anything. We got money from the National Institute of Health, American Heart Association, American Cancer Association. We just want the product because we're excited about, as we'll talk about, what it does. And that's what this product has. That very few drugs have, and almost no natural problems have like that. So you can look to anybody's eye to eye and say, hey, yeah, this is scientific, this stuff works. That's why we, like Sam said, we can make these kind of claims like that. So that's the important part in terms of me, of what's happening around the world. So right now, not sometime distant future in Star Wars and looking for the Force and stuff, right now, there are other universities, there have been studies at little places like, at Harvard, Louisiana State, University of Colorado. So these aren't health food stores. These aren't, someone's backyard. So now they're doing studies on high altitude sickness. They already did 2 studies on skin cancer. They're doing about photoaging, which that's why there's other people coming in. Kidney problems, arthritis, AIDS, periodontal disease. They already did one on pulmonary hypertension. They've already done one on some other heart disease, asthma. They've already done one on muscular dystrophy. So you can see here, and also what's interesting, this is international, because international doesn't have any language barriers. 1 + 1 is still 2 here versus it's over in Japan or anywhere else in the world. Same as with science. If you're able to bring down oxidative stress, that applies to everybody like that. As what actually Dr. McCord, anything that breathes oxygen benefits from this. Not just mammals, anything that breathes oxygen, because that's what oxidative stress comes from. So actually, I'm going to actually do a little experiment with actually using plants and see if there's going to be a little difference with plants, see if there's a little difference there. So anyway, that's just my own little thought there, kind of visual thing. Because sometimes people will, pay more money for their beautiful African violets than their health, and they're also, which is true, I mean, I've been in this for 30 years, I know that's the case, and they're also working on things for pets, and that's definitely, people will go to Davis, spend $5,000 on little Fluffy, and they won't pay anything on their own self like that. Yeah. So they're coming out, and right now, I've actually have patients now, it's a little harder, give the pill, and the animal does definitely feel better in terms of arthritis, aches and pains, energy, and stuff like that. So, but they're all trying to come out with that. So the other factor is that they're doing some studies in Mexico, University of Mexico, Czechoslovakia, they're doing another study there, they're doing one up in Canada, Sweden, Wales. So that's what shows you here. This is something like nothing else. That's why this is a revolutionary product. They've never seen anything that does that. So here's the Dr. McCord. We talked about the science. Now we get into genetic engineering. Dr. McCord is the founder of oxidative stress, free radical biology. He's blown away what this product does. It goes beyond just oxidative stress. It goes into genetic engineering. He's now been able to show that this product, once again, works with about 500 to 600 genes in what's called the survival genes. So, I mean, yeah, it's nice, about your hair color, or if you have hair, or what color your eye, those are nice. But, I could live if, my eyes were brown instead of blue, or I had more hair or didn't have hair. Those are things, these are survival genes. These are things, prevent like heart attacks, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases. So that's what you want in terms of what's kind of going on here. So I happen to go through the literature all the time, and Sam, who's that from? What health food store is that?
School of Medicine, Stanford.
Oh, that's not a health food store. That's right. So this just came out yesterday. New discovery. Talked about revolution. New discovery. That's what Stanford says in terms of suggests tumor suppression, reducing tumors, which is cancer, can have and basically not kill healthy cells. So there's a controversy that's been going on. Chemotherapy, we can talk about that another time. Maybe you go watch Don and Cindy's thing. I discussed some things about that. Is that chemotherapy is this balance of trying not to kill the good cells and trying to kill bad cells with the cancer cells. They're finding a new discovery by researchers here suggests a way to help tumor-suppressing protein distinguish between healthy cells and cancer cells. The protein, p53. Oh my goodness! That's one of the 600 survival genes, and that's specifically in one test showed that this product works on p53. Now p53, what big deal about that? It's the holy grail of cancer. You fix p53, no one gets cancer. How's that? That's pretty right, Margaret.
Awesome.
What it does is p53 goes down your genes, and say there's some radiation, there's some chemotherapy, or it's going to be some carcinogenic compound, causes a mutation to occur. p53, if it's working right, that's the key, goes in, checks it out. If they can fix it, great. If they can't, kills it. End the story. We're getting to the source. Now with women going in for mammography, another big question we could talk about another time, the best that mammography can pick up, when we first find the smallest amount, it's 1 billion cells, billions of lots, and the woman's had it for at least 12 years. How's that getting to the cause of the problem? I mean, it's like, oh, here's a little termites. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. And it's been there for 12 years. Well, the whole house is once again contaminated.
That's right.
So it's way too late. That's what's exciting. That's what this product does. Oh, that's right. But it helps with your skin helps with your hair, helps you your joints. I was just showing her on I have YouTube, Dr. Noa or Protandim YouTube. Check out all my patients. I have people, pain goes away. They have more energy. Gary back there, stamina endurance. He's doing a little thing called the Navy SEALs physical therapy, not physical, physical fitness examination. Where
Cancel that boxing match.
Exactly. So here's a gentleman, definitely over 39, but once again, he's able to has his benefit. He does other good things. There's other more good health than just eating, taking Protandim. That's the importance here. So that's what this one product does. Because people will just say, oh yeah, well, I take milk thistle. Okay, great, that's great. And I've lectured about it at the UCSF about actually milk thistle and some other herbs like that. Well, Dr. McCord, being a scientist, saying, I think this is so special, I'm going to just do another scientific article published in Free Radical Biology, it's a journal, to see if this is a little bit different than just anything. So all of us here, everybody's done with cement a little bit before. Cement is a powder and a liquid, right? Okay, good. Because last time I did bread. Oh, maybe I should do bread again.
Bread.
Is just because you have the ingredients doesn't make bread. There's 5 ingredients in bread, but if you put too much, yeast in, you put too much water, too much flour, it doesn't come out bread. Same as with cement. You have to have the dry and the wetness just right for it to kind of go down. So that's the same thing with, just because you add things together doesn't necessarily mean that it is better. In fact, there's another company called Metagenics that shows it actually can be worse. And that's what he's able to find by combining these 5 herbs, how much better did the success come out? What would you guess? 10% maybe? 5% maybe? 25? 100? Stop me when 500%? 1,000? No, obviously I haven't stopped yet. 1,200%? 1,500%? 1,800%, yes. 1,800%. Exactly. Well, that's why I'm going to stop. But that's what the science says. Otherwise, I'd be lying to you. If I said it was 2,500, it's not. So that's what this shows you the power behind it. Because that's what I hear. Well, I don't want to do that. First of all, who's got the time to go and buy 5 bottles, whip them all out, try to figure out the ratio? Man, come on. And and the last part we'll tell you, $40 a month. Come on, please. Come on, don't insult me. If you have any type of consciousness about your health, the well-being of your friends and loved ones, $40, $1.66 a day. Come on, there's just nothing out there. The other big issue is about these antioxidants. And we kind of talk about the different types of antioxidant people have. Now, some people had some chocolate. This is kind of a special type of chocolate. It's from Belgium. It's raw. It has over 80,000 ORAC value, which is a high, once again, a type of antioxidant value. Really good. So remember 80,000. That's really good. But, you have to, take about 3 of those. 3 of those are equivalent to about 5 to 7 servings of great stuff. That's what's called exogenous, or outside the cell. So inside the cell, that's the engine of the body. Just like a car, when you turn on the engine, or when you're alive, you make energy, and there's byproducts, just like there is in a car. You turn on the car, the gasoline goes into the cylinder, explodes, blows out this exhaust. Once again, depending on how tuned up it is, how much pollutants are in there. Same as with the body. You're living, mitochondria make energy, and blows out. Well, that goes outside, and that's outside. And that's where antioxidants can be helpful, on the outside. And but as you can see, another part you didn't see, but unfortunately it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You have to have like 1 antioxidants of the chocolate or blueberries, other good things like that, to 1 antioxidants. How many antioxidants do you make in a day? 3 times 10 to the 27th power. 3 sextillion. So there's no way, as much as I like chocolate like that, that you're going to eat that many, because there's just not enough time. Here's a little, I don't have sextillion, but here's a little concept about numbers. 1,000,000 seconds would be 12 days. 1 billion seconds would be 32 years. 1 trillion seconds would be 32,000 years. And we won't go into the debt and other things like that financially. But that just shows you how big that number is. There's just no way, no how to work on that. Now, what this works on are different enzymes. This works on a 1 to 1 million. 10 to the 6 is a million. Per second. So as a kind of example, so there's a big fire going on. There's a big fire in your backyard. And it's starting to come close to your house, and you're getting scared. So you can do the 1-to-1 ratio. Take 1 cup, throw it on the fire, go back in, like that. Throw it on the fire, and it takes time to do that. What's going to happen? House is going to burn down. Or 1 to 1,000,000, so it's not 1 cup. It's 62,500 gallons per second. So what would you rather have? A cup? To put that fire out, and that's what you're having with this oxidative distress. Oxidative distress is fire in your body. Fire destroys things. Oxidative distress destroys things, causes aging, causes cancer. That's what you want to do. So that's the power per second. And in my practice, I have a little visual. I like visual things. We talk about the same thing. So as Dr. McCord said, up to about age 20, there's this kind of balance there. Now that's changed because, unfortunately, our children are just as sick as people now. Now they're finding studies that people as young as 8 and 10 years old already have advanced heart disease. They already have type 2 diabetes. And they're 8 years old. So they're already old people at 8. They don't even get their 20. But in terms of ideal thing. So up until that time, everything kind of goes well. And then at about age 20, things start to go in. This type of, just like we talked about the engine over here, is now spilling out. Now exhaust is kind of going out and going out in the outside and causing other type of damage like that. So you can take, you can take, chocolate. That's kind of nice. Get a couple blueberries. Those are good. Whoops. You can get some broccoli. But let's say, because of that 1-to-1 or that cup like that, very kind of difficult. Or what we can do is go in there and turn off. That's what we do with this. As Sam said, and as the science shows, within just 30 days, the oxidative stress is down to a baby. So that's what we're doing. We're turning off the source. And that's what's it's kind of exciting. So, thank you very much. Afterwards, I'll be happy to tell you how I really feel about this product.